Let's solve another database worksheet to understand how it's work. Let's open a first worksheet. It is saying that you have asked to create a database with the name Urban Travel Agency. Whenever you are creating a database, please ensure you are saving it on the desktop. Click on the blank database, give it a name, click on the folder, choose the location as desktop and save it a name. Usually you need to save it with your grade and division. It will be easier for you to locate, and in case if you don't have a folder, create your own folder and click on OK. You can see the name has changed, the location has changed at the bottom, and click on create. Okay, in case if you don't see a table which is appearing right now in front of me, if you see there is no table, in that case you can click on create and click on table. This is the way you can do it. It is asking me to create a booking table. So I'll go to the design view, right click design view and write the name as booking. Click on OK. Now you can see a design view where we are going to add all the fields name for that particular table. First is form number. It is telling me form number should be text. So I'll write here form number. Please note, you cannot write dot or any other symbols whenever you are defining a field. You can have a space. Dot at the rate is not allowed, only underscore is allowed. So as you have seen, it is the text. Instead of auto number, click on the drop down menu and choose short text. One more thing, it is not a unique field, it is nowhere mentioned. That means here they have set as a primary key, uncheck that primary key because this field is not supposed to be set as primary key. Next, the client name, again it's going to be the short text. You have seen the error has come because there was a dot and a extra space. Okay, now client name is there. Next, destination travel date. Destination again is going to be the short text. Travel date is date and time. Number of travelers, total cost. Of course, if it is saying number of travelers, that means it's going to be number. Total cost, it will be currency. Do not assume that this is going to be the currency. You need to check what is mentioned in the sheet. Accordingly you have to work. Total cost is currency and this is number. Then contact email is text and phone number is also a text. Contact email text and phone number is also text. Now here for the phone number, it is telling me it's a unique field. That means this particular field I am going to set as a primary key. So I select. Now see here, when you are setting any of the field as a primary key, currently you can say required as no and index as no. Once I'll set up this field as a primary key, it is compulsory for the person to fill that field. You cannot keep it blank. This will automatically going to get changed. Also here in the index, if you see, it is showing you yes, no duplicates. That means you are not going to have any duplicate value into that. This thing will automatically change when you are setting any of the field as a primary key. Let's go to the next. It is asking me to insert a 3 record. Now sometimes it may happen that before validation rule, if you enter the data, maybe it can give you an error. So in case if you want to avoid, you can first set up a validation rule and then you can enter the record. So anyway you can do it, it's completely fine. You can change the order of it. Let's just go to validation rule. First it is telling me present check. So client name cannot be left blank and this is going to be the error message. error message or the message that you are going to be there, that's always been a validation text. So client name should not keep blank. For the presence check, you can write is not. If I write small, it automatically come in the way it has to be there. And this is the text that is required. Okay, no need to put required as yes, because is not null is already fulfilling the condition. Okay, in case if two validation rules are given, that this field should not be keep blank, and is there any other check which is given either length or range, in that case you can use required as yes. Otherwise, please don't use that particular check because it is mentioned as validation rule. Next, length check. For length check, it is telling phone number must be exactly 10. Now, many of you have said that why the phone number is short text. In few of the uh, continent, in view of the city, they are giving a roll number, they are giving a phone number with the dash in between or with the country code. Though it's a 10 digit, maybe it's a 12 or 13 digit, then we need to use symbols for which we are setting it up as a length. We are setting it up as a short text. Here it is a length check is exactly 10 digit. So let me just quickly take an error message for phone number. I'll go to phone number validation rule. Do not put it in default value because this mistake sometimes we did, as the text is very tiny for all of you to see and understand. Sometimes instead of writing validation rule, we write the value of that particular rule in default value and it will give you an error. So validation rule for this is, if you put a field size as 10, it is not going to work because it's saying exactly 10. So if I write 9 digits also, then also it will allow, which is incorrect. So please do not go with the field size. We can write validation rule. There are two validation rule. One is like in double quote ten times hashtag. That is one way you can do this validation rule. The another way validation rule is, now see, like basically used if you have a particular format for any of the field that is required, then you use like. If it is a length, then you have to use a validation rule which counts as LEN. So nothing is wrong, this is also correct, but it is clearly mentioned as length check. So I'm not going with this. I'll click on the three dot. The other way is also correct, you can write LEN, but I don't want to go. I wanted to show the other way. In case if your length check is giving you error, in that particular case, you can click on the three dot, click on built-in function. We are talking about text. Scroll down, you can see LEN. Just double click, you can see it's coming. Click OK. Now where you have seen the string inside the double quote, simply copy this field. Do not type, because while typing we make a mistake of space or the any other thing. Then instead of that, just copy paste. We need exactly 10, so I'll write equal to 10. That's it. Second validation rule is done. Next is the format check. Now format check, here we are going to use like. For email ID we need @. If I am saying I want data which is having only A inside it at the end, or I want a data with A before n. So wherever there is a particular thing which is required in any of the field, you need to use star. Star basically helps you out to use any kind of characters along with that particular character. So first it is telling me a validation rule. So I'll use like. Like will mostly use with double quote. We are not using with single quote or without a double quote. Here we'll use star @star. Now star @star means before @ I can have any characters, any numbers, anything for email ID. Similarly after @ also I can have, but again if it's not fulfilling the condition entirely, because if you notice we don't have an email ID as urban travel @agency. There is some domain name, so we require dot and star. So this is a basic requirement whenever we are working for this. So this particular stuff needs to have validation rule looks like this. Okay, so please ensure you add this particular way the validation rule. Last, the range check. Now many of the times we make a mistake to understand greater than, less than sign. This is between, it is fine. So first let me just quickly add. I forgot to add an error message. Enter a valid email address. Next, this is done. Let's go to number of travelers. It should be between. For between, you can write directly between 1 and 10, or you can write greater than, equal to 1, and less than equal to 10. Both are correct. It can be given you in a paper as more than or lower than. So this particular things you need to understand. When it is saying more than, it should be greater than. When it is saying lower or compared to that the value should be less, then you have to use this less than sign. So this both the rules are correct, and validation rule we need to write along with the validation text. So you can write validation text. Once we are done, do not forget to save. As you already save it once, your database, you don't have to go on file and save again. You can just simply press save button. Go to datasheet view. Now let's start writing the data which is mentioned. I'll write 1. I'm just copy pasting right now. In an examination, you have to type the data. Now travel date, it is saying 15/9/2024. The number of travelers are 2. Please use tab key. See, it is telling me an error message because there is nothing mentioned. So this is the thing comes. Okay, next is 1,20,000 is the cost. Contact email for Ria Mehta. Again, you can see it is mentioned as a booking number, phone number field. Okay, I am still writing. This is email address. But now let's see if I am not mentioning anything in front. It is still giving me an error. Let me see. Okay. Okay, it's giving me error. Let me just check. So it has been noticed that when the length is being used, sometimes it's not working. So in that case, you can use like hashtag. Please note, hashtag will only use when you are going to use numbers, not for the letters. So let's re-enter record again. This is for 1. Client name is Ria Mehta. So I'll enter all the records. Now let's see how the validation rule works. I'm keeping client name blank. Let's move on to the next, that is Singapore. The travel date, number of travelers, if I am putting 11, it will give me an error. It should be between 1 to 10 only. So I'm putting 9. Now for email address, if I write like this, it will give me an error. Enter a valid email address. I write at the rate, but I'm not completing. Again, it will give me an error. Again, I'm not adding dot and whatever the domain name is. So till the time you are not adding any of the proper email address, it will give you an error. Last, for the phone numbers, it will give, it should be exactly 10 digits. Till the time it's not a 10 digit, it will give you an error. So this is all the error which we have seen. For is not null, when you can see it's coming, that client name is required. So we need to add a name of a person, which is Neha Kapoor. And I'll add her email ID. Okay, once you are done, again please click on save and close the table, because when you create a form, again it will give you an error. So let's go to the next task. Create a form from the booking table. It is given as a title as this particular stuff. Let's create a form. Go to create and form wizard. It is not mentioned do we need a particular fields, that we need all the fields by clicking on both the arrows. Click on next. By default we use column format. We are not going to any other format as of now until unless it is being asked in the question paper. Click on next. Modify the form design. Please ensure that whatever the title name is, give the same title name as form. It will be easier for you to keep this as a habit. In case if the form name is given particularly, then please add that form name. Otherwise, whatever the title is, please write that particular text as a form name. Click on finish. Now you can see the form is coming. Now here you have to keep it in a mind that this is a header part, this is a detail which is a center part, and this is a footer. We are not touching a footer at all. In case if they are asking you to enter a button, you simply need to go here. You can see a plus sign and drag it down. So this particular middle area is going to be open more. Let's see what they have asked in the form to be done. First, the form title. Thankfully, we have already saved it accordingly. So that's exactly the form title. Insert a red background color to header. Now there is a small change. Here is a title. This is a header. The blue is the header. This is the line which you can see in orange. That's the title header. Sorry, title background. So we have to add a background into header. You can go to the format tab. Okay, now in a format tab you can see the color. Choose any of the red color, and it's with a yellow color text with an underline. It is not asking me to change the font or size, so I'm changing it to yellow with underline and done. Next, it is telling me 3 buttons to be added: add, new, booking, delete booking, and close form. Same I told you, whenever you see this, if the space is not there, simply drag it down. Go to the form design. You can scroll here to see what each icon represents. So every MS Access, the version, every different version are having maybe the different icon layout. So in case if you don't figure it out where is the button, simply just go and drag your mouse over that particular icon. You will see. Usually the fourth is the button. Click and draw. Now in case this is being seen that many of you are not able to get the command wizard button, so in this case you can click on the drop down menu of the same thing and you can see use control wizard option. Make sure this is checked. If it is unchecked, you will not get the wizard. Please ensure that you can check. If you check, it will be easier for you to understand that whichever type the button you require. So first button which I required is add new booking. Record operation, add new record. There's a different options over here, so you can just quickly check and understand. First is the record operation, add new record. I want as a text, not as a picture. The text is add new booking. Please change the text, add new booking. Click on next. You can give add new as a name and finish. This is the first one which is done. Next is delete, and the last one is close the form. I'll add another button. Please ensure the text is visible enough. Another button, I'll add it next to it, which is deleting a record. Again we'll go to the operation. We can see delete record. Again text, delete record. Next, give it a name as delete record only and finish. This is button number 2. If you want a specific size, and this you already have a squares, so you can adjust accordingly. That is completely fine. It's up to you. It's just the arrangement, how do you want it to look. Last but not the least, the third button, it's close the form. So form operation, close form. Then click on next, text, close, next, close, and finish. Ta-da! You are done with all 3 buttons. in order to see how does it look. Again, save the record, go to form view, and you can see all three buttons are there. If I click on delete it, this record is going to get deleted. Right now I'm not deleting it. I'll show you how this works. Let's click on close form. You can see the form has been closed. Okay, now last but not the least, we have to create a query. To create a query, we'll go to the query wizard. Create query and query wizard. We always go for simple query wizard. We don't go for the cross tab as we have only one table right now. Okay, it's from the booking table. We did not have any other table into it. So first it is asking me to display client name. I'll go and check the client name, then destination and total cost. Only three things is required: client name, destination and total cost. I don't want any other stuff. Okay, I'll click on next. Detail. Is there any query name is given? Yes, the query name is given as Premium Dubai Bookings. So I'll give it a query name as Premium Dubai and modify the query. Always choose modify the query. These three fields are required. Where total cost is here greater than. Greater than is opening a mouth on the left hand side. So total cost is greater than 1,50,000. We go to the criteria greater than 1,50,000. Next, destination should be Dubai. In a destination, I'll write equal to in double quote Dubai. That's it. And let's run a query. Wow, we got the record. Now, in case if one more criteria they have given in this, but it is not particular thing which is required. For example, I wanted to have a criteria as number of travelers should be less than 2, but I don't want number of travelers to be visible. I can uncheck and run. So here you can see there is no record of it because every record which is having a particular data is more than 2. Let's see to understand this. So you can see Dubai is having 4 people. That's why you cannot see any record in this. So this you have to keep it in mind that sometimes the condition is there but that particular field should not be visible on the table. So please ensure you put it on the condition in a criteria but you uncheck it. I don't want it right now, so I'm just deleting it and again I'm saving. Let's create another query, the last query. Create query wizard, simple query. Now here it is telling me a query which I already created that particular table. Is it asking me to do it on that? No, it is asking me to go with the booking table only. We are not going to do it with the previous, otherwise you will not get any record. Display client name, travel destination, where client who are traveling before 1st October. So the same thing as the previous, client name, travel date instead of destination, and sorry, my bad, and destination. It's okay if the order is going to get changed in that, it's fine. And if it's you don't want, you can just make it back and then bring it back again for the order. That you can do, you can just make it move, do it. Click on next. Now here the query name they have not mentioned, so I will not give anything. If you want, you can write before October travel data. Modify the query and finish. Now when there is a travel date, it is before. Before means I need to use less than sign, not the greater than sign. So before 1st October. So I write 01. Either you can write dash or slash. Usually we use slash October 2024. Let me cross check. 1st October, yes, 1/10/2024. It is less than. It is not 1 or before because it is not mentioned 1 hour prior. It's saying 1. So we are using only less than, not less than, equal to. And let's run. Yes, we have seen one record. And with this we are done with the worksheet. Please go through the every different content again. Once you are done, just save it once. You can see the path in the title bar of your particular file. This is the way you can solve your MS Access with the form, with query, with buttons and validation rule. Thank you so much everyone. Bye.
Yes.